Hey, what's up everybody? It's N, and today we're doing another book review with a nice green screen. So, get ready for that. Book reviews. Yeah, that's the intro. Welcome everyone to a new book review where today I'm going to be reviewing another Stephen King book. This one, a collaboration with Richard Chizmar, called Gwendys Button Box. Sounds pretty cool, and it was pretty cool, and I'm going to review it. So first of all, I have to say, this room, this is my video recording room that I've had set up for a long while for the Nervith channel, for the NUgala channel, but I've never actually used it yet because the videos are so hard to make and it's taking me forever, and one's coming, just calm down. But, back to the review. This one is Gwendys Button Box. Now, first of all, this is a pretty good book. It's a short one. It's, what is this? It's about 170 pages. And the pages have like no words on them, and half the pages are just blank. So, short book. Read this in a day. This took me literally a day to read. Like everyone else, this is just a tiny book that you could just sit down one afternoon, read it. I actually read this in like an hour, so tiny. Now the story follows a preteen girl named Gwendy who is having a lot of problems in her life. For example, she's overweight and she needs some friends, I think. There were some problems at the beginning of this book, and she was just kind of in a mess of small little problems that all came together to just make life kind of annoying. Then one day, magically, this one dude shows up and says, "Hey Gwendy, you're in luck. I got you a thing that's gonna fix it." He doesn't say that, but that's what happens. "You want a button box, Gwendy? I got you a button box." And so Gwendy takes the button box home and finds out that it's really, really awesome. Now the man that gave her the button box warned her of a bunch of things. For example, the button box can kill a bunch of people. That's one of the many things that it can do. It can also, I believe it can grant a wish, it can blow up a continent, stuff like that. And I'm not going to tell you what happens to these buttons, but I can tell you that they exist. Now the button box also has a bunch of other qualities. One of them being just fixing everything. Literally one of the things is that it just gives you money. It just drops money and you just get money from it, and it's awesome. And another thing is it gives you little chocolate things that basically make you pretty, and it makes you not hungry, and there are no calories, and it's awesome. So literally she's living the dream, and that's when a bunch of stuff starts to happen. Now the box itself doesn't cause any problems. In fact, well, it does, kind of. But more or less it solves all the problems she has. And now, out of this new environment of this perfect life, stuff begins to go wrong that is completely out of her control and wouldn't have technically happened if she didn't have the button box. Now, although these things never would have happened without the button box didn't specifically cause them. They weren't really side effects of the button box. They just happened to come in the circumstance that the button box created. And I find this book, overall, because of that general coming-of-age presence, very fun. It's a fun, short book. You could just get through it, rip right across it, and just finish it up. The book was written by Stephen King and Richard Chizmar in the space of like a couple, maybe a week, maybe a couple of weeks, but really, really short amount of time. And as much as it doesn't really show, it's completely tiny. Nothing actually ever happens in the book. There is some stuff that happens, but there's not that much. For example, there's a meeting with her friends. I'm not going to spoil a bunch of stuff, but there's a meeting with her friends. She goes out to buy and sell some stuff, and she's just having a nice life. She goes out to the park. Things like that. Short scenes that only come into like 1,000 words each. Not even, probably like 500 words each. And that's about 1 or 2 pages. 2, 3, whatever, pages. So it's really, really tiny, and as much as some stuff happens, all the stuff that happens are really, really short. There's no giant problems that occur. In fact, I can't really think of a huge problem right off the bat. I guess the problem of this book is that it has a responsibility attached to this greatness of a box. There's the chance that you could use that power to destroy everything, or you could just use the power and just live your life a little bit happier than before. And so we end up in that area of, does she kill everyone? Maybe she won't. Who knows? So, I think that the story of this book is pretty well created. I've never heard any kind of a story like this. It's kind of basic, it's relatively basic, but it's not bad in any way. Just reading it off the back, I kind of thought it was really dumb. But going through it, didn't seem out of place. It seemed logical, fair, fun, not too much. It's probably this is a novella, yeah, it's a novella, so not a novel. It's a short book, it's good. It's 10, it's good. The characters of this book, Gwendy and that weird man, and then we've got who eventually shows up. No, I can't tell you. So the characters of this book are pretty great. We've got Gwendy, we've got her parents, her best friend, we've got this one guy who keeps coming into contact with her, we've got the bowler hat dude, which is the man that gave her the box, and a bunch of others that I don't want to spoil too much, but we've got a good cast of characters that just kind of show up every so often, and overall build the character and make the story believable. Each of the characters has a very specific role. Despite the book being pretty short and me reading it like a week ago, I could probably still name any of the characters and what they were like and what they did and everything about that, because each of the characters was very specific, very good, very strong. It was a strong cast of characters. So with the story and characters being awesome, is there anything I don't like about this book? Yes, I don't like the ending. Like usual. I don't often say this, but Stephen King's endings don't tend to be very great. Overall, we all know, he builds stuff up very well, perfectly, but when it actually comes time to deliver what the big finish is, he ends up flat. And so, this book comes into play. The ending of this book is pretty flat. There is a giant conflict that occurs, but I didn't really see it as the big conflict. It was the rising action for that tiny conflict was only like 10, 15, 20 pages long, and then the conflict was over pretty quickly. And then I thought, okay, now the real conflict is going to happen, but then not really. Something just happened, and then it stopped happening. It wasn't a bad thing that happened. It wasn't a great thing either, but it wasn't bad. It was just meh. So in the end, I don't know what this book was trying to prove. I don't know what the end goal was. What were they trying to mold the character into? They created the character very well, but what was the message, the big message? What was the point of the ending? The ending was pretty boring. Okay, it wasn't boring. It was just kind of lame. But man, what was the point? A good 3 out of 5 star book. You read it late at night, you read it in the morning, read it whenever. Probably not a good idea to be like, oh, this is what I'm going to read for the next week, because you're not going to read it for next week. Strong, but proper mystery exists, so you're going to get through it all the way. You're not going to like the ending, probably, but it was a pretty good journey, so you're not going to read it over the course of a week. Read it quickly, get it done. So, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, and tell me what you thought of the book, of my review, of Stephen King, period, or any book, anything at all. Talk to me. I need you to talk to me in the comments down below. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.